second edition of Automotive Dealership Excellence Awards held in Mumbai aim to reward dealerships that have set themselves apart by scaling new standards of achievement. The awards night was set in motion with experts discussing the way forward with dealers and manufacturers from the automobile industry.
This industry employs 35 million people, produces about 32,000 vehicles that are sold every day. And the automobile retail industry, Mr. Sanghi, employs about 500,000 people and likely to grow at least 10% year on year every year?
More.
Or more. Most conservative estimates. With those background statistics, let's launch into the discussion. First question, Mr. Ravi Pisharodi. The auto industry is growing at a dramatic pace, has grown at a dramatic pace for the last 5 years, indeed the last 10 years, including the couple of bad year, a year and a half in the meantime. More number of vehicles produced, the auto component industry is growing. The dealers would also like to grow in the same speed and pace as the industry. How do you see dealers' aspirations in wanting to grow at the same speed or as fast as the automobile industry itself?
A few years ago, Dilip would know that SIAM had made a projection about the growth of the industry in India, and this projection was shared with the government also, and the government actually subscribed to the same view, and the fundamental assumption was that ownership levels of all goods in India are low.
Okay.
Whether it is two-wheelers, four-wheelers, transportable goods, which means commercial vehicles, the ownership levels were very low compared to many moderately well-developed countries in the world. And that, based on that, there was strong projection which was made. And I think the dip in 2008 confused people about are we really on track with these projections.
Okay.
But I think now we can see in the last 2 years that those projections are absolutely right. And actually those fundamentals are still the same.
Mr. Sanghi, Mr. Pisharodi talks about the growth of the industry per se, and in spite of interest rates and inflation that we are going to see significant growth. I'm going to ask you for a dealer perspective on that. What kind of growth do dealers want to see?
While manufacturers and auto component industry has grown manifold, the growth to dealerships has not translated in a similar fashion. We feel that there is a need for an entire new business model to come in to really address the growth aspirations of dealers. Presently in the model that we are running, to address these challenges in terms of building infrastructure and manpower capabilities, I think there is a bottleneck.
Right. I'm going to go to Mr. Dilip Chennai on the far side. Mr. Chennai, we see auto dealerships limited to cities. We don't see a large number of national players in the auto dealership market. Why is that?
If you want to expand and you're limited by geography in the current dealership arrangement, either you increase the number of geographies or you find new ways of selling. So you could have a distributed kind of a dealership. You would have, like you mentioned, multiple dealership points, multiple size of dealerships.
Okay.
So you could look at it totally differently. And what is interesting is that because new players are coming in, as Ravi Pisharodi said, that you have this growth, the dealers now have a choice. So if they're not comfortable with one entity, they can actually transfer to a second entity, or one part of the family can be with one entity, and the second part of the family
like
can be
mobile number portability, we're going to have auto
yes,
OEM portability.
You're already seeing that happening.
Dealers porting their
yeah, you've
dealership.
seen that. You've actually seen that happening.
Mr. Gupta, we talked about let's just call it dealer portability, of a dealer saying that I got a better offer from X manufacturer or Y manufacturer and I'm happy to move. Are there high costs associated with the dealer moving from one manufacturer to another?
The opportunity with the dealerships is largely confined to the value addition services.
Okay.
Maybe the insurance, the finance,
after sales.
Those are some of the opportunities which dealers have already started exploring.
Okay.
As far as the increase in the volumes and more models, I don't think there is very much left with the present dealers.
Would you then buy what Mr. Chennai said about brand new blue ocean strategies for creating new business models and new revenue streams?
Yes, what he meant is switching from one manufacturer to the other.
And also within that offering new services like driver training, for instance.
Driver training is, we have got to spend on the driver training. It's not an opportunity for us.
Okay.
It is opportunity for others to have this new area.
All right, I'm going to go to Mr. Arun Malhotra, Senior Vice President Automotive at Mahindra & Mahindra. Yeah, Mr. Chennai.
Let's make an interjection. I think the whole NSDC model is making, sustainable training models. So if you look at the driver training, look at mechanic training, look at expanding of sales personnel, you can actually add to your bottom line. So you've got to look at it differently.
So these are not costs, these are opportunities.
These are opportunities.
Mr. Malhotra, you've heard what the dealers are saying. Margins are tight, not too much elbow room in terms of money. Pretty hard to meet existing global standards, let alone plow back money into the business and expand. And clearly, dealer success is manufacturer success. How would you read the dealers' concerns in this area?
First of all, I would like to say that the dealers and manufacturers are on the same side. It's in the selfish interest of manufacturers to have strong, committed, focused, motivated dealer.
Large dealers as well?
Large dealers as well. It makes eminent sense for manufacturers to tap or leverage harness the power of their dealers, not only in the same location, in different locations. The second thing which is very important, I think Mr. Kailash Gupta mentioned, is this concept of going rural. Because the way the territories are becoming, the way the market is growing, I only want to highlight one point, that even the period which we talk of recession, which was November to November 08.
Though theoretically in India it was a contraction.
Even in that time,
we didn't actually recede.
Even in that time, the rural markets or the upcountry markets grew. I mean, one very interesting figure which came to mind is that India today is a bigger auto market than USA. Okay. Because if they combine the four-wheeler and two-wheeler sales, our sales of 13 million or 14 million is crossing USA. Okay. So the opportunity is very much there. Okay. And I think one of the challenges is, do manufacturers are able to harness the power of their dealers that they can grow within the family? Okay. But the opportunities for dealerships to grow with other franchises which are coming in the market are very high. Okay.
Mr. Mukashi, to sum up, a lot of dealer aspirations, a lot of manufacturers' wish list to see on how they would like to see dealerships transform. Wanting to say, just saying that I want to grow, not enough for a dealership. There are challenges of capital, challenges of corporatization, challenges of people, and challenges of managerial bandwidth. How would you advise dealers? What would you advise them? How do they tackle multiple challenges happening in double quick time in a high attrition environment? It seems like too many challenges all at one time.
Yeah, too many challenges make it very exciting.
Only the toughest survive then?
That's the way one should look at it. To sum it up, I would say that we need to have our own solutions. The fraternity has to sit with manufacturers. It cannot be a solution which fits all. It cannot be that what we do with two-wheelers may be the same thing car manufacturers or CV manufacturers will have to do. Everybody has their own peculiar difficulties to solve.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the second edition of ADEA, and this year we have received nominations from across the length and breadth of the country, from prominent cities to remote townships. Now, over 12,000 respondents and 537 applicants across the country participated in the ADEA survey, making it the true voice of automotive retail in India. Each award seeks to identify two outstanding dealers, a winner and a runner-up, from the four distinct vehicle categories: two-wheelers, three-wheelers, four-wheelers, and commercial vehicles. These winners are selected on the basis of these parameters, which are also awards in their own right. So in addition to the four primary award categories, we also have the Sales Satisfaction Award, the Service Satisfaction Award, the Employee Satisfaction Award, the Corporate Social Responsibility Initiative, the Green Initiative, and the Safety Initiative. Now, like a leader holds a group together, FADA, the Federation of Automobile Dealers Association, binds the entire dealership community with a single knot. It is also co-organizing the ADEA, and we thank you for your support and guidance. I would like to invite Mr. Nikun Sanghi, the President FADA, to come on stage and address this gathering.
Grandeur, mileage, or visibility apart, the core idea behind the institution of these awards is to bring forth the best practices in auto retail so that these best practices could be replicated by others. The awards recognize not only the excellence in business, but also the pioneering efforts made in community service. The objective of having the Green Initiative, the Safety Initiative, and the CSR Initiative awards is to create awareness that any business cannot survive or sustain in the long run in isolation. It is the quality and standard of service that differentiates and sets apart a highly successful dealership from the rest in this fiercely competitive world. It is therefore appropriate that the 6 parameters, Service Satisfaction Index, Employee Satisfaction Index, are also the criterion in addition to Sales Satisfaction Index, Green Initiative, Safety Initiative, CSR Initiative, for evaluation and judging all the winners. It is our endeavor and ambition to make ADEA Awards the Oscar in auto retail industry. Thank you.
So now, let's get on to the main award ceremony. Our first award for tonight will reward the dealership that has excelled on the Sales Satisfaction Index. And to present this award, may I call on stage Mr. N.K. Ratan, the operating head and general manager, Honda Motorcycles and Scooters India.
The nominees are Shankar Motors Private Limited Patna, Messrs Chandan Automobiles Patna, SK Agencies Bokaro, Maurya Motors Limited Patna, Guru Kripa Auto Dhanbad, and Alankar Auto Sales and Service Private Limited Patna.
The Sales Satisfaction Award for the year 2010 is awarded to Shankar Motors Private Limited Patna.
Our next category award is the winner for the best service provided. And to give away this award, may I call on stage Mr. Dilip Chenoy.
The nominees are SK Agencies Bokaro, Maurya Motors Limited Patna, Guru Kripa Auto Dhanbad, Shankar Motors Private Limited Patna, Shri Automotive Private Limited Kolkata, and Alankar Auto Sales and Service Private Limited Patna.
The award for the Service Satisfaction Award for the year 2010 is awarded to Shri Automotive Private Limited Kolkata.
Our next category awards the right boss. To give the awards for employee satisfaction, may I call on Mr. D.R. Dogra, MD and CEO, Care Ratings, to do the honors.
The nominees are SK Agencies Bokaro, KPF Private Limited.